New information from a deadly Amtrak derailment in Washington state shows that the train was speeding when it went off the rails. The National Transportation Safety Board says the train was clocked at 80 miles an hour. The speed limit at that section was 30.
The crash killed at least 3 passengers. Dozens more were injured. 72 were taken to hospitals.
The train was making the first ever scheduled trip along a newly built track south of Tacoma, Washington. It derailed at a bridge over Interstate 5 in the town of DuPont. David Begnaud is there tracking the investigation. David, good morning.
Anthony, good morning. The FBI is on the scene here in Washington state, but there is nothing as of right now to suggest that this is going to turn into a federal criminal investigation. The only glaring red flag we know about so far is speed. The fact that this train was going 80 where it should have been going 30. It's cold and raining right now, but the work continues. Let me give you a live look as we push into the scene. Crews are here and have been for the last 12 to 18 hours. They brought in 2 different cranes, and within the last few hours, they've been able to take one of the rail cars that was actually dangling over the railroad tracks, dangling over the freeway, and level it off.
Ground crews spent all day and night stabilizing the scene where the Amtrak passenger train derailed during morning rush hour, plunging rail cars off of the tracks and onto the freeway below.
Amtrak 501, emergency, we are on the ground.
Dispatch calls from the engineer captured the terror for the 80 passengers and 6 crew members on board.
Is everybody okay? I'm still figuring that out. We got cars everywhere and down onto the highway.
People were screaming. It was crazy.
Adrian Thompson says it was his first time on a train in years.
And all of a sudden, I just feel a whole bunch of turning and rocking of the train, and I just grabbed onto the chair in front of me for dear life. My laptop went flying, my phone went flying.
You start to see the roof kind of, peel, and you're just like, is this ever going to stop? And it stopped. And when it stopped, it was completely black.
The train had left Seattle, headed for Portland. This was its first run on a faster new route, designed to shave off about 10 minutes. The National Transportation Safety Board says the train was traveling 80 miles per hour ahead of the curve over the interstate where the speed limit drops to 30. At about 7:34 local time, the train approached the overpass where one of the engines and 12 cars derailed.
It wasn't easy for the firefighters to get through. They were using jaws of life and different forms of saws to be able to get into some of the crushed cars to get access to people and get them out.
The NTSB will now try and figure out whether something other than speed played a role in the crash.
Is there any indication there was an object on the tracks prior to the derailment?
That remains to be determined. The scene has been preserved, and we will be looking at it very carefully with all of our rail experts.
A local city councilman here in DuPont, Washington, actually rode this train on this route just last Friday. It was a special trip set up for dignitaries, politicians, to give them an idea of what that Monday inaugural route would be. The city councilman says when he came through this curve, this exact curve, the train slowed down, there were no problems, and he did not feel like it was going too fast. So what happened here? By the way, Gayle, the conductor of the train, he survived the crash, and he could be interviewed as early as today.
David, thank you.